I remember just sitting in my car. The engine was off, and the termination letter was lying on the passenger seat, feeling like a lead weight. Getting fired wasn't just about losing a job. It felt like a public announcement that I just wasn't good enough. The silence in that car was absolutely deafening, filled only with the looping soundtrack of my own self-doubt. The shame was so heavy, I could barely breathe. It honestly felt like my career was over, like this was a permanent stain I could never wash off. In that moment, I had two choices. I could let that failure define me, let it shrink my ambitions and talk me into playing it safe for the rest of my life, or I could figure out what it was trying to teach me. I choose the second one, and what I discovered completely changed my life. I realized that every single time I had failed, in my career, with money, in my own self-worth, I was unknowingly collecting a secret superpower. These weren't punishments, they were training grounds. In this video, I'm going to show you how to stop running from your past and start turning your failures into your ultimate advantage. I'm going to show you how to find your superpower. For weeks after losing that job, all I did was replay every mistake, every criticism. My confidence was completely shattered. But slowly, as the emotional storm started to pass, something else began to creep in. I started looking at what happened not as a judge, but as a detective. Why did it happen? What skills was I missing? Where did I fail to communicate? This line of questioning led to a huge realization. Failure isn't a final verdict on your worth, it's data. It's the most brutally honest feedback you will ever get. This is the secret that successful people really get. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a crucial part of it. Think of it like this. Every time you fail, you get a gift. That gift might be resilience, the kind of mental toughness that only comes from getting knocked down and choosing to get back up. It might be a new skill you were forced to learn just to solve a problem. Or it might be empathy, a deeper understanding of struggle that lets you truly connect with other people. These aren't just fluffy, feel-good concepts, they are tangible assets. They are your superpowers, forged in the fire of your toughest moments. And science is starting to back this up. While failure definitely hurts our self-esteem in the moment, it doesn't have to sink our actual performance on future tasks. In fact, one study found that writing critically about past failures can actually lower your body's stress response and lead to better, more careful choices on the next challenge. It's not the failure itself that writes your future, but how you process it. Your biggest setbacks aren't liabilities, they are your origin story. So, how do you actually do this? How do you go from feeling crushed by your past to being powered by it? It takes a deliberate process, a whole new way of looking at your life's resume. I call it building your superpower inventory, and it breaks down to 4 steps. Step 1, become a failure detective. First things first, you have to stop being a victim of your past and start being a student of it. This means putting on your detective hat and investigating your failures with curiosity, not judgment. Grab a journal and pick a specific failure. A business that didn't make it, a big financial mistake, a job you didn't get. Instead of dwelling on how it made you feel, ask objective questions. What outside factors were at play? What were the internal ones? Your decisions, your habits, your mindset? What specific actions led to that outcome? And what would you do differently now that you know what you know? The goal here is to pull out the lessons. Writing it all down helps you see the patterns and separates the emotion from the facts, turning a painful memory into a powerful case study for your own growth. Don't run from the details. Those are the clues that lead to your superpower. Step 2, reframe the narrative. Once you have the facts, the next step is to change the story you tell yourself. This is a real psychological technique known as cognitive reframing, where you consciously change your perspective on something to change how you feel about it. Instead of, I got fired because I wasn't good enough, the reframe is, that job was a mismatch for my skills, and losing it pushed me to find a career I'm genuinely passionate about. This isn't about lying to yourself, it's about finding a more empowering truth. For a financial struggle, instead of, "I'm just awful with money," the reframe is, "That period of debt taught me exactly how to budget, save, and talk about money, skills I'm now using to build real wealth." When it comes to self-doubt, instead of, "I always give up," try, "My past attempts taught me how important persistence is and showed me I need a why that's strong enough to keep me in the game." You are the narrator of your life. By reframing the story, you take the pen back and turn your scars into symbols of your strength. Step 3. Mine for hidden skills. Every struggle, every setback hands you tools you didn't have before. Your job now is to figure out what they are and add them to your inventory. This goes deeper than the direct lessons from step 1. It's about identifying the character traits and soft skills that were forged in the fire. Think about it. Navigating a huge career mess-up builds resilience and adaptability. Overcoming a financial nightmare develops grit, resourcefulness, and creative problem-solving. Facing down your own self-doubt and taking action anyway, that builds courage and self-awareness. These are the superpowers that employers desperately look for, that partners admire, and that create unshakable self-confidence. So make a list. Write down the failure. Next to it, list every single skill and positive trait you gained. Did you learn how to handle a tough conversation? Did you become more empathetic? Did you have to master new software out of pure necessity? Did you finally learn how to ask for help? You'll be shocked at how long this list gets. This isn't a list of your failures anymore. It's a resume of your most hard-won, valuable skills. Step 4. Activate your superpower. Look, awareness is great, but it's useless without action. The final step is to intentionally use these superpowers you've just uncovered. This is where you take the lessons, the new story, and the hidden skills and apply them to what you're doing right now and where you want to go. If a failure taught you resilience, the next time you hit a wall, you can consciously tell yourself, "I've been through worse and it made me stronger. I can handle this." If you developed better communication skills from a past relationship problem, actively use those skills to build a deeper connection in your current relationships. This is also about taking new risks, but this time you're armed. As Einstein said, anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. The fear of failing again can be paralyzing, but when you see that failure as part of your training, it loses its power over you. You're not the same person you were before. You're wiser, stronger, and better equipped. Use that knowledge. Apply for the bigger job. Start the new venture. Have the vulnerable conversation. Action is the antidote to fear, and it's the final step in turning your past into your power. This framework isn't just a motivational idea. It's a practical strategy you can use in the toughest parts of your life. In your career, setbacks are going to happen. You'll get passed over for a promotion, a project will bomb, or maybe you'll even lose a job like I did. Instead of seeing it as a dead end, see it as a redirection. That rejection might be the very thing that pushes you to learn new skills, making you even more valuable. Michael Jordan was famously cut from his high school basketball team. He used that failure as fuel, driving him to work harder and become the greatest of all time. Your failure could be the catalyst for your most meaningful work. When it comes to finances, a past mistake can feel incredibly shameful. Maybe you racked up debt or made a bad investment. The detective work here is key. Figuring out the emotional triggers and habits that led to the mistake is step 1. The superpower you gain is financial literacy born from real-world experience. You learn how to make a budget that actually works, why an emergency fund is non-negotiable, and how to make conscious spending choices. And most importantly, this all applies to that internal battle with self-doubt. Self-doubt usually comes from past negative experiences or from someone telling you that you're not good enough. Every time you choose to act despite your fear, you are actively proving that inner critic wrong. By remembering your past wins and the times you overcame challenges, you build a library of evidence against your self-doubt.
Practicing self-compassion, treating yourself with kindness when you mess up, is a superpower in itself. It quiets the self-judgment and builds the resilience you need to keep going. Your past is not a life sentence. It's not a record of your limits. It's a library of your lessons, an inventory of your strengths, and the origin story of your greatest superpowers. People like J.K. Rowling, who was rejected by numerous publishers, and Steve Jobs, who was fired from the company he started, aren't famous because of their failures. They're famous because of them. They understood that every no, every setback was just part of the process, a necessary step on the path to becoming who they were meant to be.
The pain of failure is real, and we shouldn't pretend it's not. But we don't have to let it define us. We can choose to learn from it, to grow from it, and to build ourselves into stronger, wiser, and more resilient people. So, I challenge you to do this today. Take out a piece of paper and write My Superpower Inventory at the top. List your past failures, and for each one, use the steps we talked about. Be the detective, reframe the story, and mine for the skills you gained. Stop looking at your journey as a series of missteps and start seeing it for what it is, your training ground for success. Your biggest failures will become your greatest successes, but only if you have the courage to see them for what they truly are. If this message hit home for you, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content on turning your challenges into triumphs. And I've got a question for you. What is one superpower you've gained from a past failure? Share it in the comments below. Let's build a community where we celebrate our comebacks, not just our wins. Thanks for watching. And remember, you're stronger than you think.